How impressive, too, as they give it to Bentley up the middle and into the end zone. They lead the 4-yard line. It's 3rd down and 6. Dart. Wells. Touchdown, Juice Wells.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Chris Clay, checking in, coming at y'all with a video for the day. For this video, man, we talking about Georgia Bulldogs lost to Ole Miss. Now, listen, man, I need all y'all Georgia Bulldogs, the whole Georgia nation, to tap in for this video, man, and, tell me what y'all think about, the game and everything I'm about to say, because I'm finna talk about, where I think Georgia went wrong at, in their loss to Ole Miss, and their loss to, Alabama, and basically, where's Georgia weak link right now. So, I watched the game, and I'ma just say this, man, Georgia, I'm just say this, man, Georgia, a whole lot of Georgia players, they went to the NFL, so right now, man, Georgia is basically playing with a whole different team from, the consecutive years, Brock, Bowers, we had him for like 3 years. Along with a whole lot of other players, So right now, I think Georgia just missing just players that just experience within the system. I think that's what Georgia missing. Just players that experience within the system, because right now I can't think of one Georgia player that's just the go-to guy for Georgia. Who is the superstar on offense and who is the superstar on defense, like that player that gonna make a play every game, like the standout player, I don't think Georgia got one of those players, but hats off to Kirby Smart, man, because man, Kirby Smart do a great job with coaching, and I can tell he come from that Nick Saban pedigree, because them coaches that come from Nick Saban pedigree, they gonna coach 4 quarters, no matter the score. They're gonna coach 4 quarters, no matter the score. So, man, that one thing I admire about Kirby Smart, and all those coaches that's come from that Nick Saban pedigree. Now let's talk about how Georgia managed to lose to Ole Miss, and I'm not gonna take no credit from Ole Miss. Ole Miss played a outstanding game, but Georgia, man, come on, man, y'all ain't got no business losing to Ole Miss, and I'ma just tell you, I'ma just say this, man, Carson Beck, probably a great guy, but Carson Beck not gonna get it done. Carson Beck, I feel like is the weak link of Georgia Bulldog, and the reason why I say Carson Beck is the weak link, because the quarterback position, that's a very important position. Everybody who play the game of football know, the quarterback is like the leader. The quarter it's the head coach, then it's the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So when you're a quarterback, man, you got to be, besides throwing the ball, you know, accurately, you know what I'm saying, running the offense, man, you gotta be a leader. You know, you gotta be a leader. Like, you know, the team is like following the quarterback, the offense and defense is following the quarterback, you know. And you know, when you got you a standout quarterback, you know, you ain't even got to be a great head coach. You see, sometimes, you know, sometimes, you know, a team be winning, you know, then the next season they have the same coaching staff, but they just fall off. That's because they had a top tier quarterback. You see what I'm saying? And that brings me to the next thing I'm finna bring up. Like, you know, Georgia, like the history of Georgia and how dominant Georgia have been for the past years. There's no way Georgia shouldn't have a top tier quarterback every year. You know, like, man, you rank 5 in the country every year. Man, you got to have a top tier quarterback. You know, you got to have a top tier quarterback. Like, I don't know who's in control of, you know, the quarterback recruiting, but man, like, Georgia always, you know, kind of like have, like, you know, average to mediocre type quarterbacks. You know, they always have like these mediocre type, average type quarterbacks. And I'll just be asking myself, like, you know, how is it that Georgia just can't bring, you know, one of those top tier, you know, top 5 quarterbacks in the draft every year? Cause you look at, you know, like, you know, the past teams, like, you know, okay, the past 3 years, you know, Georgia has been dominant, right? You know, they was dominant with Bennett, you know, and you look at the history of Bennett, you know, Bennett was a walk-on. You know, Bennett was a walk. He walked on to Georgia. You know, then he had to wait so long to actually, you know, get on the field. And once he got on the field, you know, he balled out. You feel me? So this is what I think about that whole situation. Like, you know, Bennett, he balled out for Georgia because Bennett is like a hometown guy. Like, you know, he's from Georgia. So him getting on the field and balling out for the University of Georgia, it just it's more, you know, a whole lot of, like, this is the point I'm trying to make, man. Like, Georgia let a whole lot of great players leave the state of Georgia, right? And I think that's something that gotta change. Like, a couple of years ago, we had the top 2 ranked quarterbacks in the nation. We had Justin Fields and we had Trevor Lawrence. Like, those was the 1-2 top quarterbacks in the nation. And both of those quarterbacks end up finishing their college careers for teams outside of Georgia. And I can't understand that. You know, how do you let Trevor Lawrence get out of Georgia? How did the University of Georgia let Trevor Lawrence get out of Georgia? How did the University of Georgia lose Justin Fields and let him go to Ohio State and put on for Ohio State? Like, bro, what's going on with, you know, the quarterback position at Georgia? That's what I've been trying to figure out. Like, there's no way these top quarterbacks should be going to other teams out of state. Like, as the University of Georgia should be doing everything they power to keep these guys in state. You know, and I think, you know, Georgia will be a way better team if that still happened. Like, I don't know what change got to be made, but some changes definitely got to be made, man, because, you know, we're not going to sustain, you know, where we want to be at. You know what I'm saying? We, because, you know, I've been a Georgia fan all my life. I'm a native of Georgia, you know, so, you know, the success Georgia have means something to me. So I'm saying we're not gonna be able to sustain, you know, the level of, you know, expertise that we want with quarterbacks like Carson Beck. I'm gonna just be honest, you know, with quarterbacks like Carson Beck, man. So right now, you know, Carson Beck is Georgia weak link. You know, right now they sitting at like what, they don't lost 2 games this year. Like, I don't even know if they're gonna be able to you know, be in the playoffs now. You know, the championships, a season of winning another championship could be over. You know, all because, you know, we don't have a dominant quarterback. So that's my take on the whole Georgia losing Ole Miss. Like, you know, Georgia, and one thing about Kirby Smart gonna stick to his guys no matter, you know, how many mistakes they made. You know, I watched the Alabama game, you know, I feel like Carson Beck should have been pulled. You know, he was playing a horrible game. At least pull him for one drive and let another quarterback go in and see, you know, if they can change it around. You know what I'm saying? Nick Saban, he beat us twice doing that. You know, he beat us twice doing that, you know, for big games. You know, one year Jalen Hurts beat us. Then he brought in the quarterback for Miami now, who beat us. They made changes at halftime and that ended up working. But I feel like in that Alabama versus Georgia game, Carson Beck should have been pulled. You know, he throwing picks. He should have been pulled, man. You know, in the Ole Miss game, he should have been pulled. Like, he played poor in big time games, and, you know, we can't have that. So that's my take on, you know, the Georgia and the Ole Miss game. You know, I think some changes need to be made all around. Hopefully, you know, Kirby Smart will go in, you know, make the change that he need to make, and, you know, they can win out for the rest of the season and possibly, you know, get back in the mix of, you know, possibly playing for, you know, a national championship. But yeah, man, that's my take on the Georgia Ole Miss game. Georgia Nation, I want y'all to tap in, you know, like, share, subscribe, or comment, tell me what y'all think about the game and everything I said. I see y'all guys in the video. Yo.